The side quests in the third Witcher game are quite interesting and diverse. They are extremely numerous, but at no point in the game do they become routine. Each quest is a new story with its own participants and its own morality. As you progress through the game, it's easy to overlook some of these side quests. Few people can claim to have explored 100% of this massive map. Some of the quests are in the most inconspicuous places. Others require you to explore literally every square inch of the map. And the third ones can only be found if you constantly run around with your Witcher senses turned on. And even then, you can easily miss something in the blink of an eye. Recently, we had a video on our channel about hidden quests you can miss in Novigrad and Velen. Today we're going to talk about the hidden quests that are scattered throughout the islands of Skellige. They are literally bursting with various secrets and Easter eggs. But before we begin though, we would like to thank our first patron. We appreciate the support and encourage the rest of you guys to join our Patreon, and we promise more cool content in return. In the meantime, let's get back to the hidden quests. It's gonna be fun. Grab a snack and listen to the old Witcher. Crime and Punishment. Let us start with a quest that shows the nature of the Skellige people and their customs. It is called Crime and Punishment, and you can stumble upon it on the north shore of Skellige, near the harbor. While you sail through the area, a helpless man named Jorg is attacked by harpies on the shore and is tied to a rock. After killing the monsters, Geralt can talk to Jorg. It turns out that he was tied to the rock by his fellow villagers, who accused him of murder. He claims to be innocent and has been framed. The Witcher is faced with a choice: free Jorg or let him die. In the first, as well as in the second case, Geralt can travel to the condemned man's home village, which bears the name Rogne, to find out the truth. There the Witcher will see the villagers gathered at the grave of the man killed by Jorg. They all condemn the murderer, and only a little girl defends him. This girl turns out to be Jorg's sister. It turns out that it was all her fault. The girl didn't like one of the villagers. He was fat and he stank. So she told her brother that the man was hurting her. Jorg went to confront him, and during the argument the situation got out of hand. A fight ensued, and Jorg killed the man. Needless to say, no one really hurt the girl, and she slandered someone she didn't like for nothing.
But I lied to Jorg. Uncle did nothing to me. He stank and I didn't like him. That's it. And now Jorg will die because of me.
The Witcher can either tell the girl that this should be a lesson to her, or calm it down by telling her that he freed Jorg. Well, that's what the usual childish carelessness and lies can lead to. Free Spirit. Let's move on to a non-standard quest that is extremely difficult not only to find, but also to complete. It can only be found if you try to clear all the question marks on Skellige, which takes a lot of work. And you can only complete it if you collect all the books you can find and visit all the booksellers and examine their wares. On the southern shore of a small unnamed island just north of Skellige, you might find a man named Ivar. He's being attacked by a warrior with incomprehensible screams, and if we decide to protect Ivar from the assailant, we will receive the quest Free Spirit. It turns out that Ivar fell in love with a priestess of Freya named Irma and wanted her to stay with him. But since the priestesses take a vow of celibacy, such a sacrilege is considered a blood crime. Ivar's assailant was the priestess's brother, and he wanted to kill the one who had violated his sister, not even thinking that the feelings might be mutual. Still, the belief in the gods on Skellige was far too strong, and still is. Ivar realized that now, with the death of the girl's brother, the priestesses would not let him be with his beloved, but he didn't want to give up. He decided to collect books that would confirm the legitimacy of his feelings and the possibility of Freya's priestess having a husband and children. And of course, he will ask Geralt to help him find all the books he needs. The only problem is that this quest does not specify which books Ivar needs and how many of them he needs. All in all, finding these books can take hours, unless you get bored and decide to look for a solution to this quest online. The books will be marked with an exclamation mark in the vendor's inventory, but the vendor himself will not be marked. The first of the required books is called Religion and Life and can be found at the vendor in Crow's Perch. The second book is called Tristiana and Isidore and can be purchased from a nondescript vendor in Lindenvale. The third book is called Change Your Life, a handbook, and it is in the possession of a lone shark who lives in a house in the pits near the south gate of Novigrad. The fourth book is called The Curious Cases of Virtuous Vega and can be bought from a merchant in one of the shops in the Gildorf district of Novigrad. And the last, fifth book, with the title The Cult of Freya, can be bought from the alchemist preacher who Geralt accidentally tells the secret password to during another optional quest, and who can be found near the Elector Square in Novigrad. As you can see, all these books are scattered all over Velen and Novigrad and can mostly be found at inconspicuous merchants who mostly do not even need to be approached. If the Witcher collects these books, he can bring them to Ivar. He will only reward Geralt with his gratitude, but also with a short dialogue about each of these books. This is the end of this strange quest, and unfortunately we will never know if the lovers Ivar and Irma were able to break their religious ties and start a family.
Thanks for your help, but I'm thinking I'll learn no more sitting here. Time to see the world. Perhaps while I'm on my travels I can figure out a way to be with Irma.
A Bard's Beloved. Let's continue the tales of hidden quests with the one called A Bard's Beloved, which can be found on Skellige, in a cave not far northeast of a place called Palisade. There, the Witcher will find a bard sobbing and begging for help. For some reason, he is afraid to even move as he recites poems about the beauty of his new lover. Realizing that something is wrong, Geralt goes deeper into the cave and finds out that the bard's lover is a water hag. The monster likes to hear poems and ballads about its beauty, so it catches lost men and makes them compose whole serenades.
A sweetheart, fresh and scrumptious. Tell me a rhyme, then you'll get a prize, or a beating.
If one refuses, it kills him and looks for a new lover. The Witcher, however, is far from being a poet, so he simply kills the lovelorn monster. When he returns to the entrance of the cave, he finds that the frightened bard is already gone. Well, love really is evil. From a land far, far away. The next quest is quite long and interesting. It is even more surprising that it is not marked on the map. It can be found on a tiny, unnamed island near the village of Redgill, east of Skellige. On this piece of land, the Witcher sees a shipwreck and a body washed ashore. After examining the remains, the Witcher will find the journal of one of the sailors, from which he will learn the history of the ship. And after searching the sunken ship with a strange crest, Geralt will find the journal of its captain. It seems that the ships carried a noble family from a far, far away country. There was a coup d'etat, and these people had to flee from their pursuers. It will also become known that there was another ship on this trip that actually had nobles on board. Geralt will find the remains of the second ship with a strange crest in Velen, southeast of the Widow's Grotto. In the nearby village of Erston, Geralt will meet a foreign soldier who seems to have been sent to find members of a noble family who fled a coup in their region. After talking to him, the Witcher can return to the wrecked ship, and with the help of his Witcher senses, he will be able to find the tracks of a woman and a child. Following them, Geralt will come across a noble woman and her son. Both will speak in an unknown language. They will try to escape. When Geralt catches up with them and tries to calm them down, it turns out that they were followed by that aforementioned warrior. The Witcher, as usual, has to make a decision, either to hand over the woman and her child, whom the warrior seems to accuse of a terrible crime, or to protect them. As always, the choice must be made. And depending on the choice, the White Wolf will be rewarded by either the former or the latter. Peace disturbed. The next quest can be found on Skellige, southeast of Caer Trod Harbor. On his way, Geralt will see two women who will call him to come over. They will complain to the White Wolf that there are ghosts in the nearby crypt, and it would be good if the Witcher would drive them away. Geralt might agree to help. The crypt itself is a huge underground structure, filled not only with corpses and wraiths, but also with a lot of jewelry and treasures, which will surely find a place in the Witcher's inventory. And after dealing with the restless spirits, the White Wolf will also do his usual Witcher work, for which he will be handsomely rewarded by the women standing at the entrance to the crypt. Taken as a lass. Another quest is hidden south of the village of Redgill. There, the Witcher might notice a warrior fighting the pirates. If Geralt decides to help the warrior, he will learn that he has been on the road for a long time, searching for his sister Carisu. When the pirates attacked the village this warrior was from, they kidnapped her and took her as a slave. The warrior will ask Geralt to lead Carisu to him if he is lucky enough to find her. The Witcher agrees, and near one of the small islands he finds the quite fresh remains of a ship. It turns out that it was a pirate ship with prisoners after a raid. The ship got caught in a storm and crashed. Not far from the crash site, the Witcher notices Freya's temple, and when he arrives there, he sees a girl who is very different from the others. It turns out that Carisu survived. As soon as the storm began, she took advantage of the confusion and jumped overboard the pirate ship. In the morning, she was washed ashore and her unconscious body was found by the priestesses of Freya, who took care of her. Geralt tells Carisu about her brother and she promises to find him.
True. Soon as I get back to Blandair, me and my brother will make an offering to Freya. And I thank you for your help.
Take care now.
Skellige's secret chests. The Witcher 3 is simply filled with various treasures and interesting puzzles. There are several hidden and unmarked quests in the game that can only be obtained by carefully exploring the open world, but you already knew that. There are no hints about them during the game. They are just little interesting things that the developers have left for the most curious and attentive players. There are a lot of them in Skellige, and 3 of them sort of stand out. We can open the first chest by completing the hidden quest X marks the spot. You can get it on Art Skellige near the lake south of the village of Blandair. There's a gnawed skeleton in a dilapidated house, and after examining it, the Witcher will receive a map and a key. Using this map, which by the way has minimal markings on it, you can search the area shown on it and find a chest which is opened by a key taken from that corpse. The same might happen to Geralt in the Dorve ruins on Andvik Island. There the Witcher can also take a map and a key from the corpse and get the quest, ruins, hidden treasure, you know, and try to find the treasure according to the signs drawn on the piece of the paper and open the chest with a key. But the most interesting chest is hidden at the end of the path leading north from the village of Caergallon on Ard Skellige. There are 2 stones of a strange, obviously man-made formation on a hill, and beneath them lies a skeleton, which upon examination reveals a poem with a clear reference to the treasure. Using the poem's clues and looking at the tip of the shadow cast by the given stones at noon, we will see that this shadow points to a specific point in the valley. By memorizing this location and going down there, we can find the hidden chest with some nice loot. Stranger in a strange land, plus an unpaid debt. Some quests in the third Witcher game are very easy to miss, simply because they require you to fulfill several conditions at once. One such quest can be found in the village of Arnbjorn, but it only becomes available if you return to the village immediately after completing the Phantom of Elberg quest, and only if the salt takes place before the bloody feast in Caer Tralde. If these conditions are met, Geralt will witness a drunken brawl between local men in Arnbjorn. The Witcher unwillingly gets involved in the brawl, during which 3 people are killed. The guards, who arrive later, tie everyone up without finding out the circumstances, and the Witcher is imprisoned and waits to be tried by Jarl Lugos the Madman. There are 2 ways to proceed. The first is to talk to the guard and use the Axii sign to convince him to take the Witcher to the Jarl immediately, and then either pay the charges or help the Jarl in a certain matter. The second scenario begins with a conversation with one of the prisoners named Simon Brambling. It turns out that Simon Brambling knows how to convince the guard to take Geralt to Lugos' trial. In return for his help, Simon only asks for one thing. From this day on, Geralt will be in his debt. The Witcher will follow the man's advice, and thanks to him, the guard will take him directly to Lugos. But a little later, when the trouble with Lugos is over, Geralt will see Simon Brambling in Caer Tralde, and then the man will ask the White Wolf to pay his debt. This is how the quest An Unpaid Debt begins. Geralt and Brambling agreed to meet in a lonely house near the village of Blandair. There, the Witcher will see the following picture. Simon is talking to a man. It will turn out that this man has sworn to kill Simon because he killed his brother earlier and is hunting him. Now Brambling will ask Geralt to kill his enemy as payment for the debt the White Wolf earned in the dungeon. The Witcher can either side with Simon and pay his debt, or help the man to kill Brambling, who turns out to be a murderer and a coward. The choice is up to the player. In any case, the quest ends here. The Cave of Dreams. The following quest is only available if you run into it before the tragic events with the werebears at the Bloody Feast in Caer Trolde. It is located in the southern part of the Skellige Island, at the shore, which can be reached by a path from Holmstein's port. Over there, Geralt can see a whole crew led by Blue Boy Lugos, who have come to a place called the Cave of Dreams on Skellige to fight the monster in it. The Witcher can talk to Blue Boy Lugos and ask him to join his party, after which the adventurers will enter the cave. Inside the cave, Lugos' party will find some totems, and the Skelligians will tell Geralt that in order to continue their journey, they have to consume a special mixture of herbs that a druid told them about. After taking the strange mixture, the travelers will go deeper into the cave, where they will see visions of amazing beauty. They will also face challenges. Each member of Lugos' team will have to go through their own fears, face their images and conquer them. Even Geralt will see his worst nightmare and have to fight against it. And even the fact that Geralt and the travelers wake up and find out that it was all a dream and that they stayed at the place where they consumed the herbs at, does not take away the feeling that the adventurers would not have woken up at all if some fear could not be overcome. Worthy of trust. We will finish our list of Skellige hidden quests with the one that starts in Caer Trolde Harbor and teaches us not to take anyone's word for it. Geralt will meet a man who will ask him for help. The man will say that his ship has crashed with all his belongings and now he needs a loan of money. If the Witcher agrees to lend the stranger some money, he will meet him sometime later at another place, in the middle of the road south of Caer Trolde. But the man does not even think about giving the money back. Hell no! He seems to have forgotten what Geralt looks like, because he approaches him again to ask for money, this time introducing himself with a different name and telling another strange story. But the Witcher remembered the stranger quite well, and after a short argument, he realized that this time he had made a mistake. It seemed that he begged for money from everyone he met and made up different stories about his misfortune. Geralt can either forgive him and still believe that he will return the money one day, or he can report the criminal to the Jarl. In the first case, the Witcher will surprisingly meet the crook in Novigrad and he will return all the borrowed money without any arguments. Well, that's it for today. Even in 2 videos, we couldn't tell you about all the hidden quests in The Witcher 3. There are still hidden quests in Kaer Marhan, and the easily missed ones in the Blood and Wine DLC. Also, don't forget about the first and second parts of the game, which are also full of interesting little things. So hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell so you don't miss any of our videos, including the ones about the other hidden quests in the Witcher games that you might have missed. And of course, write about what the author might have done wrong, what you don't understand, or what you disagree with. We would also appreciate it if you supported our work on Patreon, or possibly with a sponsorship subscription right here on YouTube. That way you can help us work on our videos, choose topics for them, and so on and so forth. Thank you all for watching, and see you soon when the Your Witcher speaks once more.